Hello, this is Dr. Carmen Smith, and I wanted to come to you live to let you know that um, there's a lot to learn when we have examples like Congressman John Lewis and Reverend Dr. C.T. Vivian who cross over. We have an example of love in action. Their example was their lives and how they lived it and how they taught us all to walk in love, to think with love in mind, and to make sure our hearts are always saturated in love, even though outside of us there's fear, chaos, lack, limitation, all of those things swirling around. They remind us that it's possible to walk in love and be the example of light in the world. And I wanted to bring you a couple of examples, starting with Reverend Dr. C.T. Vivian, who was one of the strategists that was around Martin Luther King during the 60s movement and strategized about what people needed to be targeted as far as getting the right to vote and where to stand in truth and where to confront an issue. And one of the things that I remember seeing in the series Eye on the Prize when I was growing up was Reverend C.T. Vivian with his pastor collar on and leading protesters to the courthouse where they could vote, where they could sign up to vote, and they were being refused entry and refused the voting rights. And so I remember him standing at the steps and then being hit in the face and knocked to the ground by someone that did not want him or Black people or brown people to have the right to vote. But I remember him talking about how that was unconstitutional and that it was wrong and that it was equated to, the Nazi Party and Hitler refusing to see the value and the rights that other people had. And so I remember him speaking truth, unabashedly, unafraid, but with power and conviction. And I just want people to know that that's love in action, that he wasn't hating on a person. He was talking about that system that was keeping in place, that injustice was impoverished and did not have love in it, but had the opposite, which is fear. And so he was attacking a system, and people thought that he was attacking them personally, and they became afraid of his words and hit him in the face. He did not strike back. His heart was filled with love. And that's how a movement has traction, generation after generation. But mostly we saw that example in Reverend Dr. C.T. Vivian. The other example is Congressman John Lewis, when he would argue about justice in Congress and when he would put his whole life on the line going over the bridge in Selma. He had tapped into something that is eternal, that never dies, that is the epitome of strength and power, which is love. And when he filled that with his heart, he became fearless. And he wasn't seeing evil in people. He was seeing evil in the ideas, in the structure, in the instructions that these people were following. And so instead of holding hate and anger and fear in his heart regarding a person, he was able and had room to embody love. So the love that John Lewis shared and embodied showed up in everything that he did and everybody he encountered. And so people that he disagreed with in the Congress that were Republicans or didn't want to fund a certain project that would uplift Black and brown people, he still held strong to love. Disagreeing, standing in truth, that is love. But also not attacking them personally, but attacking the ideas. And so love gives you courage. And one of his sayings was, loving sets you free, because you no longer have to harbor all of that burden of hate and fear. So as these two giants in love warriors, as I call them, cross over to the other side, their spirit, everything that they believed, is eternal. It doesn't die. So tapping into that energy moving forward is so key. So I'm going to be there in Washington, D.C. in the march with the spirit of love, with the spirit that embodied these giants. Because it doesn't matter if somebody spits on you, calls you a name, drags you off the stool in the lunch counter. You remember who you are. And if you have embodied love, that means that you are love. No matter what somebody does, your reaction, your response is going to be loving. And as long as it is, and nonviolent, of course, that means that you have transcended the human egoic mind that is in the survival mode, and you have embraced your true identity, which is connected to everything, including that person that spit on you and called you names. So this is a love reminder. We all need that from time to time. You're royalty. You're worthy. You're beautiful. You're magnificent. And you're connected to the Grand Canyon, which is so grand, to the biggest redwood tree, to the most beautiful rose. You are connected to all of that. And because you are, it makes it even more magnificent. So as you go to the marches, as you go to the rallies, there's going to be fear coming at you, but that doesn't change love. Love is eternal, stays strong, looks in the eyes, sees the fear, and loves the person. That takes practice. So every day, your practice, every moment, however you choose to do this, your practice is, am I embodying love? Am I practicing love? Is my intention coming from love? And what do I need to release in order to get to that highest love that is needed right now? Right now. Those are the questions. And only you can have the answers. You can't get it from somebody else. You can't get it from somebody else. You can't buy it from anybody. So you have to cultivate that love, uncover that love, realize that love within you. And it's an individual journey. But I'll tell you this, we need it now. So I'm here to encourage you in your journey any way that I can. If you'd like to ask me questions, you can go to drkarmen.com. You can email me, and you can subscribe to this channel so that you can always get updated on any type of intuition or mental health or spiritual guidance that I can offer. And just remember, you are loved. You're certainly worthy. But most importantly, when you realize who you are love itself. Love you.